welcome to another special episode of Badminton Unlimited. Coming up on the show, we are in Denmark with one of badminton's greatest, Morten Frost, as he walks down memory lane to share with us his inspirational journey in becoming one of the best men's singles players.
So here we are, Nykøbing, Sjælland. This is where my brother Jens and I are brought up. I lived here for 20 years of my life. I'm born and bred here in this town.
And we bring you all the big winners from the recently concluded 2019 European Mixed Team Championships. The HSBC BWF World Tour gets underway again this week, and attention turns to Catalonia for the Barcelona Spain Masters 2019. Here's our 90-second preview of the Super 300 tournament. Men's singles winner Rasmus Gemke will need to produce nothing less than his best to defend his title, especially against his outstanding fellow Danes. Former world number one Victor Axelsen is keen to rediscover his top form, while Anders Antonsen will be eager to build on last month's impressive victory in Jakarta.
And he does it! Anders Antonsen wins the Indonesian Masters.
And with 2017 European champion Rajiv Youssef slotting in as the 8th seed, men's singles will be a battlefield for some of Europe's finest. The Danes are also making a strong claim for the men's doubles crown. World number 6 pair Kim Astrup and Anders Skarp Rasmussen are the top seeds, while veterans Matthias Bo and Carsten Morgensen begin their campaign as the 3rd-seeded duo in Barcelona. Olympic bronze medalists Marcus Ellis and Chris Langridge will also hope to be in the mix come the weekend. Ellis is also set to compete with Lauren Smith in mixed doubles, and the English tandem hopes to take one step up from their runners-up finish last year. Top seeds Matthias Christiansen and Christina Pedersen are also expected to mount a challenge for the title in their first World Tour outing of 2019. After the retirement of his longtime partner Liliana Natsir, Tontowi Ahmad's new partnership with Winnie Octavina Kando is set to make its international debut. They are seeded 5th. The Barcelona Spain Masters concludes on the 24th of February before the World Tour moves to Germany next. "53 years after he first took an interest in badminton, former world number one Morten Frost is still passionately involved in this sport. After retiring at age 34, the Dane took up coaching in his homeland and Malaysia. He commentates in many tournaments and was recently appointed consultant to the Prakash Padukone Badminton Academy in Bangalore, India. Badminton Unlimited was privileged to spend a day in Denmark with Morten Frost as he took us on a journey into his past.
Hello, my name is Morten Frost. Welcome to this very special edition of Badminton Unlimited. We are in Nykøbing. This is my hometown. This is where I am brought up, and only 5,000 people live here. I'm so much looking forward to showing you a little bit of my life. We are going to meet some of my very good friends, and they are going to talk a little bit about their life and how it has been to come from this small town and then move on to be world number one in badminton. But first of all, we're going to meet my brother Jens, so I hope you will enjoy the trip. Thank you very much. Hej Jens.
Hej bror.
Hej. Godt at se dig.
Classic.
Godt at se dig.
Velkommen til byen.
Ja, tak skal du have. So here we are, Nykøbing, Sjælland. This is where my brother Jens and I are brought up. I lived here for 20 years of my life. I'm born and bred here in this town. And just behind me is where we've lived all our lives. It's the shoe shop and the men's shop. My parents had both of them, and we have our childhood house or flat or apartment is just on top of this one. So this is where we're born. and brought up for me for the first 20 years of my life, and for Jens. He has stayed here forever since 50 years or more.
Jeg har ikke været uden for byskiltet endnu, så men
sådan er det.
Sådan det er. Byen har jo godt nok forandret sig siden du rejste.
Ja, den har forandret sig meget.
Nej, vores familie har jo drevet forretning her på hovedgaden. Starten lige her, den bygning lige bag os i 1896. Og så ellers kørte vi 5 generationer til 2011, hvor jeg sluttede. Og vi solgte forretning, og så er det nu Lone Gullager, som kører forretningen derovre videre i skoforretningen.
Det, der er rigtig morsomt, det er jo sådan set, at jeg havde at arbejde i den her forretning. Om sommeren, når vi skulle fylde stativerne op med espadrilles og alt muligt andet. Og Jens, han elskede at arbejde i forretningen, så vi var sådan ligesom meget, meget langt fra hinanden i det her.
Vi var nat og dag, det var vi.
Men jeg skulle tjene nogle penge, så der var ikke nogen vej udenom. Så det blev til sommerarbejde nede i skotersforretningen. Men Jens han nød det, og jeg synes, det var meget forfærdeligt. Ja. Men sådan er det. Vores forældre blev ikke særlig gamle. Vores mor døde i 1981 og blev bare 48 år gammel, og vores far blev 60 år gammel og døde i 1994. Så de blev ikke så gamle, men så håber jeg, at Jens og jeg vi bliver rigtig gamle og kan sidde her og hygge os lidt i byen en gang imellem.
Så. Jeg har det sådan. Det er min mest irriterende bror. Jeg har aldrig nogensinde slået ham i noget med en bold. Det tætteste, jeg har været på, det var, da du var 9 og jeg var 7, og det var ikke badminton.
Det var bordtennis.
Det var bordtennis. Vi havde et bord op på et af værelserne, og det gik for fuldt tryk. Og vores forældre stod over i døren og kiggede. Og jeg kan godt sige, at tårerne de sad hernede, fordi du pressede lige de sidste 3 bolde, hvor jeg så tabte. Det er det tætteste, jeg har været på at banke dig. Men okay, jeg er meget tålmodig. Ja. Du bliver vel 90, og så er jeg 88, ikke? Så er du vel så stivben, at jeg kan få dig i et eller andet.
Chancen er stor.
Ja.
Så nu har jeg jo så lige fået en ny hofte, så nu regner jeg med, at jeg klarer den yderligere 30 år uden problemer. Nu vil det tiden vise. Så. So here we are, Nykøbing Sjælland Badminton Club. I just come from the house. It's just about 300 meters down the road. Here I spent so much time when I was younger. I started in the badminton club when I was 8 years old, 7, maybe 8 years old. My mum and dad said I should move my bed to the badminton hall because I spend more time here than at home. I got many very good friends here, and one of my friends we're going to see now is Sven. Sven and I used to play when we were young. Hej Svend.
Hej Morten. Det er lang tid siden.
Godt at se dig. Godt at se dig.
Så er vi tilbage i den gamle hal.
Det er vi.
Ja.
Hvad er vi blevet enige om? 53 år siden?
53 år siden gik vi ind ad døren herude. Ja. Første gang. Vi startede jo i 65. Og så gik der vel en 10-11 år, hvor vi spillede sammen heroppe, inden du så forlod Nykøbing og rejste til Gentofte.
Jeg rejste til Gentofte, der var jeg vel, 15 eller 16 år gammel.
Du har nok været 16, tror jeg.
Men skal vi ikke sætte os ind i cafeteriet og snakke lidt? Det kunne være rigtigt.
Det kunne være rigtig sjovt, ja. Det gør vi.
Det gør vi.
Det er godt.
Ja, så er vi tilbage i det gamle cafeterie, som ikke er så gammel mere jo.
Så er vi tilbage i det gamle hjem, Morten. Og du kan nok huske, det var her, vi brugte meget tid.
Det var det.
På at sidde og spille forskellige spil, når ikke lige vi var på banen og spille badminton.
Ja, det er rigtigt. Ja, vi spillede skak, og vi spillede dam, og vi spillede mølle. Det kan jeg i hvert fald huske. Og så sad vi sådan 10-15 drenge måske herinde.
Det er rigtigt, ja. Det var jo en form for en ungdomsklub.
Det er rigtigt.
Hvor man kom efter skole, og så brugte man tiden her.
Ja.
Det var et dejligt sted at være.
Så skal vi sætte os ned.
Det skal vi, ja.
Jeg kan se, at du har legnet alle billederne op.
Jeg har taget de gamle programmer og de gamle skrabbøger med, Morten. Måske vi kunne kigge lidt og se, hvad der rørte sig i gamle dage.
Jamen, det har jeg jo lykkeligt glemt.
Ja, Jeg har jo her fundet et spændende et fra vores amtsmesterskaber.
Ja, det er rigtigt.
Det er nok omkring 1970.
Det passer meget godt.
Og der er jo det sjove ved det, at jeg står på førstepladsen,
Det gør det.
og du står på andenpladsen.
Men det... Men sådan var det jo dengang.
Sådan var det dengang.
Sådan var det jo. Det var altid dig, der vandt. Jeg husker jo i gamle dage, der spillede vi jo kun til 11, da vi var børn.
Det er rigtigt, ja.
Jeg tabte jo, jeg mener, de første 6 år af mit liv som badmintonspiller, der tabte jeg 11-0 til dig hele tiden. Så det kan jeg godt huske.
Så er der også de gamle klubblade, kan du huske dem?
Ja, dem kan jeg faktisk godt.
Ja. Udkom 4 gange om året.
Okay.
Hver gang vi havde været ude at spille en turnering, så blev der lavet et referat. Og så kunne man sidde og kigge i de gamle skrifter og se, hvordan det var gået i de enkelte år. Så jeg fandt lige et par gamle programmer fra Danmarksmesterskaberne 1980 og det gamle program for All England-mesterskaberne. Vist også 1980.
1980, tror jeg det er.
Ja, 1980, ja.
Ja.
Det var det år, vi var over at se mesterskaberne. Vi havde en bustur til London.
Ja.
Ja.
Til Wembley.
40 mennesker i bus over for at se dig spille semifinalen. Tror jeg, det var.
Det var semifinalen, jeg tabte. Ja. Jeg tabte semifinalen.
Det er rigtigt, ja.
Jeg tabte 1980. Jeg tror, jeg tabte til Lims Viking.
Ja, det skal nok passe.
Og så taber Lims Viking så i finalen til Badminton,
Ja.
som så derefter vælger at komme til Danmark i december, sådan cirka 6 måneder senere. Og det var nok det, der ligesom var med til at hjælpe mig på vej. Det var netop det, at Prakashan kom der i slutningen af 1980. Og der er ingen tvivl om, med den sparring og den modstand, jeg fik i min daglige træning, det kom til at hjælpe mig helt vildt meget.
Ja. Så på den måde kan man sige, at jeg hjalp dig i 10 år, og så kom Prakas og overtog og hjalp dig i 5 år.
Ja, det er rigtigt.
Derfor kunne det ikke gå galt.
Det kunne ikke gå galt. Det var fuldstændig ret i. Så sådan er det.
Ja.
Time for a quick break here on Badminton Unlimited, but stay with us as Morten Frost takes us to Copenhagen next.
I had lived in a very, very tiny place. It was tough times. I had to work in a warehouse. I had to work for a living. So I did that in the days.
Earlier on Badminton Unlimited, Morten Frost spent some time with his brother in their hometown and showed us a club where he began playing badminton. Let's continue this journey down memory lane with the Danish legend.
So we have arrived in Copenhagen, in north of Copenhagen to be more specific, to Gentofte Badminton Club, where I used to play a lot of badminton. So this is Gentofte Badminton Club. It's a very old club, very traditional club. It's from 1936. It used to be 7 courts only. Today they have 10 courts. And as you can see here, we have 4 courts. Originally, it used to be only 3 courts, number 1, number 2, and number 3. Court number 4 is built on at a later stage, which happened in the mid-80s. Today, they have about 550 members in the club. In the olden days, so to speak, it was about 1,200 members in the club. If we go in here, we go into the exhibition court, and this court here is now called court number 5, but it used to be court number 4. And this court, they used to play Thomas Cup matches. They used to play. I've been here watching a match between Denmark and England playing Thomas Cup. So you can see there's not a lot of space for spectators and so on, but this is very iconic. This has been a place where a lot of good badminton has been played. It was also here in 1978 when I won my first national championship. We did not play it here, but I was part of the club. When I was only 19, I managed to beat number 1 and number 2 in the world, which was Flemming Delves and Sven Pri at the time, winning the national championship in 1978. I played in the club for 10 years, from when I was 16 till I was 26, because when I was 26, I decided to move to London for the remaining part of my playing career until 1992. I was residing in London. There is no doubt that coming here when I was 16 is probably some of the toughest years in my life as a badminton player. I had to travel from home 3 hours on the train to get here, and then of course traveling back 3 hours again. And I arrived at home at 12:30 in the morning, and of course had to get up very early next day to go to school again. So I was here 2-3 times a week, and it was a tough time, lots of traveling, lots of train, but I must say I enjoyed it. I got to know so many good people here, so I really enjoyed it here. So we are here in the heart of the city, in the heart of Copenhagen, and I moved to Copenhagen when I was 20 years old. I lived for the first 20 years in Nykøbing, Sjælland, and it was a really big change for me, because coming from this small little town, coming to the capital city of Denmark, coming here to Copenhagen, and not only that, I lived in, at the time, the worst area in Copenhagen. And I was lucky enough to have a car, but I had no telephone. I had lived in a very, very tiny place. And it was tough times. I had to work in a warehouse. I had to work for a living. So I did that in the days. And of course, I was training as much as I could in the mornings and in the evenings. But it was a little bit tricky at the time. The area, as I said, was not very nice. Very often when I was walking down the stairs, there were sleeping drunken people and drug addicts and so on, and it was really not very nice. I stayed there for 1 year until I moved to another and better area in Copenhagen, and I was very happy with that. I got a much better apartment and so on, but that was due to the fact that, as I mentioned earlier, that badminton went open. I was able to earn some money from professional badminton. So as I told you before, we are in the city centre of Copenhagen. We are actually very close to the central station, and at the central station I spent hours and hours waiting for my trains when I was young. So I like to show it to you, so please come this way. So here we are at the central station in Copenhagen. This is platform number 6. This is where I used to come a lot, coming with the regional train from Holbæk. So far I've been traveling 2.5 hours, but I still have another half an hour to go before I get to Gentofte. Normally I should do my homework, but I'm sure I slept. So we have arrived at platform number 9, and as you can see, we have the central station here in Copenhagen, and we have to go up north to Gentofte, and that's about another 20-25 minutes. So this was the story about the central station and my traveling life so far. And now we're going to meet my very good friend and old doubles partner, Steen Flatberg. So here we are at the House of Sports in Brøndby in Copenhagen, and as you can see, someone here you might know. I'm not quite sure. As you know, Steen and I, we have known each other. Steen Flatberg is a former world champion men's doubles in 1983. We used to play together from we were 10 years old, so we have known each other for just about 50 years. I will leave it all to you so you can have an interview with Steen, and I will just be off. So thanks very much.
We were back both young players. I think we were around 11 years of age when we met, playing matches in our country, Zealand. We were not very physically strong. I was, I guess, the smallest of everyone, and Morten had asthma, something with his chest, so he used it as a challenge. He wouldn't accept that there were things he couldn't do. He also played a lot of soccer, and still he managed to compete and become become better and better. So he overcome. And maybe that is one of the answers to Morten's success, is that he wanted to overcome. He has such a strong will, a winning instinct that none had. I remember when we played tournaments in Denmark, for instance, we were in Jutland. We might have played many matches in Saturday, and then the semi-finals in started Sunday, of course, and then we had to start at 9, and Morten said he always had to be up 2 hours before and have 5 rackets lying behind the court. So he was very focused on details also, and his willing to win was the key.
So you have seen some of my badminton life in the past, you've met some of my friends, you've met some of my badminton colleagues. This is my summer house, and this is where I like to come and relax. It's very close to the sea, it's just 5 minutes away. I really love it, to come here, relax, take it easy, do some barbecuing and so forth. So this is definitely the favorite corner of my summer house here. I very often sit in this chair, and you know, you think about life, you think about so many things, and obviously sometimes you think about how badminton was in the past and the things that you have achieved and so on. Badminton has given me a lot. If I look at me as a person, how it all started out many years ago here in Nykøbing, how I went to Copenhagen, lived in the worst area in Copenhagen, then went from there all the way to the top of the world in badminton. Badminton has just shaped me. Badminton is me. Badminton is everything about me. So I can only thank and be very thankful for the very, very educational journey I've had over the years. So finally, I can just say to everyone who's been watching, I hope you have enjoyed it. I have definitely enjoyed it. It's been a little bit over my limits. This is not normally something I do. Being a very inward person, I feel that maybe I've put myself out there that I, as I said, normally don't do, but never mind. I hope you have enjoyed it. I have. So thank you very much for following me for the past 20 minutes or so.
Last week, 8 of the best teams in Europe competed at the 2019 European Mixed Team Championships in Copenhagen, and the final came down to a clash between hosts Denmark and Germany. The tie began with the mixed doubles, and the Scandinavians sent out their top pair Mathias Christiansen and Christina Pedersen against Mark Lamsfors and Isabel Hedrich. Despite a good start in both games, the German pair were eventually outclassed 21-12, 21-12 by their Danish opponents.
I feel like it was a speedy game. We know the Germans, they want to play fast on the quarter. So we were prepared for that. I think, as Mathias said, we did a good job today. Did not make too many easy mistakes. Yeah, it was really great to stand here today.
It was Anders Andersen taking on Max Weiskirchen next in men's singles, and the world number 15 was largely untroubled in a 34-minute contest. Weiskirchen, who failed to win any of his group matches, was left rueing defeat again after Andersen claimed another point for Denmark with a 21-9, 21-13 victory.
I was happy that I got selected to play the match today. Yeah, and I felt comfortable going into this match, so I'm grateful that I got this chance.
It was left to 20-year-old Yvonne Lee to salvage the tie in women's singles for the Germans. But the pressure proved too much as she went down in straight games against Lina Højmark-Schesfeldt. The final score read 21-16, 21-17 to hand Denmark a 3-0 win and their third successive triumph in the competition.
It's really nice that we win again, and yeah, of course it's nice that I was the man to give us the goal, so I'm really happy. We really want to win, and yeah, I think also that we play at our home, and yeah, the amazing crowd also helped us to win, yeah.
Over in Melbourne, the Victor Oceania Mixed Team Championships 2019 was played in a 7-team round-robin format. The trophy was decided between the top 2 seeds Australia and New Zealand on the final day of competition. The tie went right down to the wire, with newly crowned Oceania women's doubles champions Tatjana Mapasa and Bronya Somerville sealing victory for Team Australia. That's it for this episode of Badminton Unlimited. Join us again next week as Gracia Polly and Apriyana Rahayu reveal how they are handling the pressure as one of the world's leading women's doubles pairs.
Kita atlet yang memang diciptakan untuk bisa jadi juara. Jadi berapapun saya final atau berapapun kali saya juara, kita juara, ya kita diciptakan untuk itu.
In the meantime, do remember to log on to the BWF fan site, bwfbadminton.com, for all the latest news and features on the sport. See you next week.